All right, we have some more news regarding the San Francisco 49ers, and this time it comes in the form of wide receiver Jauan Jennings. So, as we had heard, the San Francisco 49ers were attempting to get a contract negotiation and extension in place for Jauan Jennings, who was a restricted free agent. But with this news that the 49ers have tendered wide receiver Jauan Jennings at the second round level, appears that a contract extension wasn't able to be completed. So the 49ers slap him with the second round tender, and that opens up his ability to sign with other teams. So if you are unfamiliar with how basically restricted free agents work, is that this is where we were currently at. The 49ers had the opportunity to either extend him or hit him with the tender. Okay, well, the tender is basically a 1-year deal worth $4.89 million. And so it's basically Jawan is here to stay at that amount, or if a team has interest in signing Jawan, they can reach out to him directly and his representatives and negotiate a new deal. And if this team presents the deal to Jawan, Jawan agrees that they get a multi-year deal ironed out and squared away. Jawan accepts it, then the San Francisco 49ers have the opportunity to match that deal. And so when we say match, they would then just take basically the structure of the deal that this other team had put all this work into, and they would just assume it and accept it. And that would be Jawan's new deal. So, for example, if the Raiders came through and said, "Here, hey, Jawan, here's a 4-year, $40 million deal," they agree to terms, and the San Francisco 49ers then get the opportunity to match that. So they would then be able to say, yeah, we want to pick up Jauan Jennings on a 4-year, $40 million deal. And then that's the deal. Jauan signed, and he's a 49er for the next 4 years, at least based on the contract length and what's detailed. But if that situation pans out and the 49ers say, no, we aren't going to match. We're not going to present that deal. We're not going to take that. You can sign Jawan. Well, then Jawan, that second round grade, that second round tender, the Raiders would then give us their second round pick. They sign Jauan Jennings. And so that's how it ultimately plays out. So, all that being said, I don't believe that Jawan is going to go anywhere. I'm not sure. I mean, Jawan is phenomenal with the San Francisco 49ers. You can arguably say a little bit underutilized. Um, he's done a ton. And could be in for a bigger role. But is a team willing to give up a second round draft pick for Jauan Jennings on top of paying him? I don't think so. I don't think so. So I think Jauan's here to stay for one more year. He will then become an unrestricted free agent at the end of this next year, which gives him the opportunity to sign wherever he wants. And then at that point, that becomes a different conversation about the future of Jauan Jennings. But if I had to predict what the outcome of this is going to be, my prediction is no team's going to sign him to a deal that I think would pull him away from the 49ers. And if it was a good enough deal, I think the 49ers would match it. Now, if it's some exorbitant number that's cost prohibitive, at a certain point, the 49ers would just say, you know what? Actually, we got Brandon Ayuk to pay. We're already paying Debo Samuel. If you want Jauan that bad, then we're going to have to give him to you, but we will take the second round pick in return. So, all that being said, I don't think that team's coming along to negotiate with Jauan. I think Jauan will play this year on the 1 year second round tender at about approximately a little bit under 5 million, and we at minimum get one more year of Jauan Jennings, which I think is a good thing. Will he return beyond that? Will the 49ers extend him beyond that? I think that all relies on Brandon Ayuk's contract situation. Obviously, we know the 49ers have cleared up some space and gotten Eric Armstead off the books, and they just signed Leonard Floyd to a 2-year, $20 million deal. But the future of Jauan with the 49ers, I do think, is up in the air beyond next year. I do think he'll be here next year, but beyond that, I'm not really sure where Jauan goes or if he stays. I'd be very curious to know what you would do in this scenario. First of all, would you match any deal that is presented for Jauan, or would you let him go for the second round draft pick? Which one would it be? Or would you re-sign him at the end of next year, give him a contract extension, or potentially let him walk for a comp pick? And again, I think an important part of this formula is Jauan Jennings also is a former 7th round draft pick. So if you're turning a 7th round draft pick into a second, that's a huge win in the ROI game from a front office standpoint. Honestly, if you're turning Jauan Jennings into anything like a third or higher, that's a massive win for, again, what you spent to get him. Obviously, we know how good he is. We know he fits exactly what the 49ers do. He's a dog, third in Jauan, baller in the run game, all those different types of things. It is pretty fascinating to see Jauan's rise. But I do think that he's here to stay for the short term. For the long term, not really sure. But you guys let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.